Hi, my name's Fiona Cope and I'm studying international aid and development. My discipline focuses on a huge array of areas from development projects to politics in the international economy, foreign correspondence, and it also focuses on ground level issues such as race, gender, and cultural aspects. I wasn't really sure what my question was going to be until I started the unit Overseas Aid and Development, and one thing that seemed to be suggested quite a bit in the literature research was that Western governments have, over the past 60 years of development, uh, simply dictated the terms and conditions by which aid is given to third world and developing nations. Aid is generally provided in this manner due to a flawed perception that we know what is best for the poorer people. It is a perception drawn from the equally mistaken belief that the donor's way of life is better than that of the recipients. In many cases, aid is given in an attempt to have recipient countries follow in our Western economic and political footsteps in order to open up future opportunities for trade and the expansion of the global market. It is argued that the failure to consult with aid recipients before implementing aid programs has been a fundamental flaw that has led to many of these programs not achieving their long-term goals. And so my question was, why haven't we asked them what they want? And in my field of study, most of the literature used quantitative research to measure whether or not aid has been working over the past 60 years. But more recently, qualitative research has been implemented, and this sort of research gives aid donors the opportunity to hear from aid recipients their point of view. From this, I was able to read interviews that aid workers had with local recipients, and I, as well as the aid donor, were able to hear their opinions about what was working in the recipient eyes. And this was really good for my question because perhaps not historically but presently, correspondence and communication is one of the more important things for effective long-term aid and development. An example of a researcher using qualitative research is that of Megan Mackenzie. Mackenzie uses qualitative research to analyse why women in post-conflict Sierra Leone weren't participating in the de-radicalisation program the UN had set up for them. Mackenzie does this through the use of ethnographic communication, basically a whole heap of friendly interviews where she pretty much finds out that these women didn't participate in the program because they were intimidated by the flash cars and bureaucracy surrounded by the UN. Further, it is suggested that aid donors, not just the UN, have been known to consider themselves before the recipients. Instead of understanding the culture of the region and thinking about the intimidation factors, which in this case scared the women away, they didn't consider gender issues in the culture, as any women seen to be in the program would have been associated with war, and it would have been hard for these women to go back into the community and find husbands, unlike the men where it obviously wouldn't have mattered. But the main thing that was solved was the fact that before these programs were implemented in the area, it should have been priority for them to find out the opinion of the people and to find out what would be shaming and what would be good for the community before actually implementing these projects into that community. Anyway, I hope that my analysis of realising that programs are failing due to a lack of communication rang some bells, or just reinforced what was already noticed and has quite recently been implemented into the new aid programs and development policies. So yeah, thank you.